Ladies and gentlemen, aliens, Grecians, and vigilantes of all ages, this video is now in session. Obi-Wan 362, Gamer at Law presiding. What you are about to listen to is a spoiler-free review of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And what do I mean when I say spoiler-free? It means that I am going to be super vague about everything I say, so as not to give anything away, and sometimes I'll be overly vague just to make sure I don't screw that up. I will, however, consider anything that was in the trailers fair game to talk about or to show, so if you've been avoiding those like the bottom of a well, then this is your warning. If you want to skip all of the vagueness, trailer spoilers, and want the quick, simple answer, here it is. It's good. The pacing is pretty great. The portrayals were exceptionally well done, and I would recommend you go see it. Now, if you're ready for vague talk with trailer content and being fair game, I'm coming at you like a bat out of Tartarus in 3, 2, 1. So, first things first. You've seen the trailers. You've seen the TV spots. But you ain't seen nothing yet. Please do not take that as me hyping the movie. Rather, what I want you to understand is that there are twists and turns coming, and the movie isn't going to be quite what you think it will. Whether that's good or bad, well, that's going to be completely up to you. But don't think you've seen the trailer so you've seen it all. That's all I'm saying. Second, if you enjoyed Henry Cavill in Man of Steel, then expect to enjoy him in this as well. Cavill plays the part of Kent and Supes perfectly. Really, that can be said about pretty much everyone in this cast. Gal Gadot, mwah! Jesse Eisenberg, fantastic. Jeremy Irons, I'm confused about his age, but he plays the part fantastically. And Batfleck. Oh, the one everyone is worried about. How is Batfleck? Ben Affleck gives a stellar performance, at least in my eyes, as both this version of Bruce Wayne and Batman. So, please, let your hearts rest. He wasn't the daredevil that we hoped for, but apparently, billionaire vigilante is a better look on him than the devil of Hell's Kitchen. You may have caught on to something by now, and that's my emphasis on this version. Okay? If you missed that statement before, well, loosen your tiara a little bit, maybe take it off, because we're about to talk about my problems with this version. Even from watching the trailer, I had some concerns with the direction some characters were being taken. Parts of the trailers, such as...
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
And...
The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming.
They really bothered me, because these are not the versions of the characters that I personally know and love. That's why it will be important for all of you who are really familiar with the characters that you're going to see on screen to understand that the Lex, the Supes, the Bats, the Wonder Woman portrayed here are one multiverse version of the characters we know. Going into this movie without that mindset can cause some rather jarring moments. So for the sake of the movie, accept the version you're seeing. Then, after you've enjoyed the movie, after you've soaked it all in, go and complain to your geeky friends about it later, about why they should have gone this other route with those heroes, this other way that you're more familiar with. You can complain about that later, but for the sake of the movie, accept this is a different multiverse set of these characters. It'll make your life a lot easier, trust me. Now, there is a lot going on in this movie, so it's no wonder... See what I did there? Tired. Yeah, anyway, sorry. It's no wonder that this movie is 2.5 hours long. It's a long movie. That said, even with it being that long, the pacing feels great. You never feel like you're sitting there for too long. They get you going, they get you worked up, and then they let you catch your breath, just so they can rip it away from you all over again. But for all the great pacing that they do, there are a few moments where they telegraph just a little too much what's about to happen. You'll have a couple moments where you're watching, and then you see that anime rock. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, you're watching an anime and you'll see a setting, and there's one rock that's colored differently than everything else. Not just like the actual color of it, but the style of it. It's different than everything else. And for those of you who've seen anime, you've seen that before, and so you know something is going to happen to that rock. Well, you've all seen movies before, and so you know something is going to happen in this spot, and you could probably guess what it is. But here's the thing, what happens might still be a surprise, but you know something is going to happen. That said, this happens a couple times in the movie, but it doesn't happen all that often, so there's no need to really worry about it. Get sucked into the movie, and when you see it, you can just say, there it is. And then get sucked right back in, because stuff is still happening, and the pacing is still going again. Alright? Alright, so it's a little nitpick, but there's something there. There's something there about a little bit too much telegraphing in certain places. Lastly, there was some concern on the internet about a member of the Ninja Turtles showing up in this. Well, yeah. While I believe that he should have been given, more of a build-up, considering the degree of importance he holds in the comics, I will say it is important that you give him a chance. May not be quite as bad as you feared. Along those same lines, if you're like me, and certain scenes in the trailers felt off, then I would say fear not with those as well. There's certain scenes in the trailers, if you've picked up on it, then I don't need to point them out to you. If you haven't, then by all means, don't worry about it. But there are certain scenes in the trailers that didn't seem to quite mesh with all the other scenes, and it was weird, and hard to understand why those are in there. Well, fear not, because those bits work wonderfully well as well. In the end, I think the movie's good. I think it's pretty great. I really loved it. There are homages to both Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, as well as to some other well-loved stories, for those of you savvy enough to know them. And no, I'm not going to hint at what they are, so you're just going to have to watch the movie to find out which other stories that they're hinting at. But you'll know them when you see them. Just remember this, again, as a last caution in here. Just remember, this is one multiverse version of the heroes you will see. Let that comfort you as you see and react to things that may not necessarily agree with your version that you prefer of these heroes. Anyway, that wraps up my review of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. If you have a comment or would like to start a discussion, please, that's what the comment section is for. However, as this is a spoiler-free review, please, please, please leave the comments spoiler-free as well. After the movie has actually been released, my friends and I will be doing a podcast where we discuss the whole shebang. So if that interests you, subscribe here or follow on social media, and you'll be alerted to when that is happening. But until next time, all you Kryptonians, Amazonians, and bats, this video is a jerk.